Hi, my name is Alison. I'm a Master of Sustainability student here at Brock, and today I'm going to talk to you about the concept of collaboration in environment and resource management. So put simply, collaboration is a proposed method for solving current environmental issues where multiple different actors come together to try and solve a problem and resolve conflict to come up with a better management plan and implement it more effectively. So it's a more inclusive process, and it's also an iterative process, and the idea is to manage complex social ecological systems or wicked environmental problems to better come up with better effective management methods. So just to show you how we got to this proposed concept is current environmental or past environmental management practices were ineffective. So these approaches were called command and control approaches. So these approaches took a top-down approach, and they assumed that there was a direct solution to problems. So what happened when we realized that systems are complex and unpredictable is that these management methods no longer worked or had not been as effective as they could be. So this led us to the proposed method of collaboration. So collaboration includes many different aspects, and this includes shared decision-making, trust, adaptive capacity, and diverse stakeholders with diverse interests coming together to solve a problem. So you also may have heard of collaboration being involved in several other different management strategies, and these may include adaptive co-management and community-based natural resource management. So, as Barbara Gray put it simply, collaboration is finding common ground and resolving conflict between these actors. So, now I'm going to show you an example of how collaboration would work in an example of environmental management or resource management. So, let's say that we have a lake here, and we all live around this lake. So we may use the lake for its resources, for recreational uses and other purposes. And this lake is part of a larger watershed as well. And then we have a bunch of other actors who may be involved with this lake. So let's say we have a factory over here, and this may be affecting the lake with non-point source pollution. We have an NGO who might be concerned about water quality. We have scientists who are studying different aspects of the lake as well. So for example, they might be studying ecosystem degradation or vegetation, and then we also have government actors involved in governing the lake as well. So the idea of collaboration is each of these different actors coming together with the common interest of effectively managing this lake because they all are using it in some way. So the first step of the process would simply be all of them coming together and meeting and recognizing that they have diverse interests. We can also call them stakeholders or actors. So the next step would be for them to plan a management strategy. So through deliberations, negotiations, knowledge sharing, learning, all of these different things, these actors will work to come up with a solution to how they can most effectively manage this watershed as a whole, because they each have different interests. They may have different perceptions of the lake, but they all want to come together to ensure that they're managing it most effectively. So once this plan is came up with, so for example, as I mentioned before, it could be adaptive management or adaptive co-management, they will come up with a plan to implement and manage this watershed. So the idea of collaboration is to operationalize these management strategies more effectively, because all of these actors will come to a consensus and agree to come up with a management solution that works for all of them and that they agree upon. So the implementation is a significant component of the collaborative process, because the process is continuous, and the idea is for all of them to be able to participate and engage in this process together as a whole. So the second last stage would be to monitor. So these actors want to determine if their plan is being effective. So is there things that they need to adjust in their plan? Do they need to adapt to changing conditions in the watershed? So each of these actors are collectively managing and monitoring the system together, and they'll be coming back together to meet and talk about these changing conditions or anything that someone else may have observed in the system which needs to be adjusted for the management strategy. So this also ties into evaluation. So once they've monitored and implemented their management strategy, they want to evaluate whether their plan has been successful or not. So whether it has been successful, they will continue to meet, and the idea is for continuous participation between all of these different actors involved in the watershed, and continuous meeting will allow for more effective management essentially, because they have all agreed upon this solution and shared their own knowledge, which they have gained through interactions with this watershed. So the process will continue, and that's collaboration. So for my research, what I'm interested in how this can be most effective. So how can collaboration work most effectively in environment and resource management? So I will be looking at what qualities can enhance this effectiveness.